My name is Ryan Lee Gilbert.
Live at 5, last of the week, Ryan.
It is. Yes, it is. TGIF. We have a wonderful, wonderful guest for you today.
Exciting.
Yes, we have Corey Greenan from the Jersey Boys Tour.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
We're very excited to talk to you in a little bit. But
Who
first,
loves you? Corey. Okay.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
he's our Earth Angel.
Aha!
See what I did there?
That was good. That was pretty good. Yeah.
But first, we have some news.
Yes. Okay. So obviously, the big news that we need to start off with is that last night, lots of dreams and wishes came true at Dear Evan Hansen because Beyonce was in attendance. And actually, it's kind of funny because Ben has talked about wanting Beyonce to come. He's put this in the universe. Obviously, there's been a lot of celebrities that have come and seen the show. But Beyonce was sort of his dream. He talked about it on Show People with Paul Antorek, and we actually put a clip and an article up on our site about it, and he tweeted about it. What did he say? He said, "I really think a part of me believes that if I warm up to Beyonce enough times before Dear Evan Hansen, I will conjure her."
And
Hashtag
he did.
Please come. And he literally conjured her. She came.
Dreams can come true, guys.
This, ladies and gentlemen, this, we can do it to this camera. Yeah, this one. Okay, this, look at the dreams coming true.
Look at this moment.
Look at her looking at him and him looking at her. It's all kinds of magical.
He has the right reaction. Like, that's how all of us would look if that was happening to us, just falling apart in front of Beyonce. Yeah.
When you meet someone like that who's like such an influential person in the universe,
the closest we'll touch.
Literally, you're like, right, you're just like, whoa, whoa, you feel it.
It's amazing.
It's very, very, very exciting. So I hope she liked the show. I think she did. I think she called him like an alien or something is what he said.
I mean, he is.
He is.
Yeah,
and so
Tony
is she.
Award-winning alien.
And so is
she. She recognized.
Yeah.
Also, very exciting news. Tina Turner, who I'm sure all of you know, she's huge in the 80s and before that. But there's a Tina Turner bio musical called Tina, which we've talked about before, and it will finally have its West End premiere. It's going to the Aldwych Theater on March 21st, 2018, opening night set for April 17th, and it's directed by Phillida Lloyd, who did the Mamma Mia musical. She also did the Mamma Mia movie.
She did?
She did.
Look at that.
Yep, and she also did that one with the Iron Lady. She did that movie as well.
Oh.
And casting will be announced later, but Adrienne Warren played Tina in a previous workshop of the musical. So maybe all of that will happen. Right? No, they have not. That will all be announced at a later date. Right. And then hopefully, Broadway will be in its sights. Love Tina Turner.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
Tina Turner was like the Beyonce before Beyonce.
That's right. This is
right. I'm just
trying
to tie it all in.
Yes.
Trying to
Well
keep
done.
it all
well
looped
done.
in. So Mandy Gonzalez, who you might know from In the Heights or
More
Hamilton.
recently, Hamilton.
She is releasing a solo record called Fearless. I don't know if you know about this, but she has this thing called the Fearless Squad that she that's her big social media thing, and she has her fans are all social media.
It's also the name of a Taylor Swift album.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So Mandy Gonzalez and Taylor Swift are both going to have albums. Called Fearless. She will be releasing it on October 20th. 7 tracks with songs from songwriters.
Huge names here.
Huge names. Lin-Manuel Miranda, Tom Kitt, Jennifer Nettles, country star. Just did that Out of Oz video.
Right, yeah.
She loves Broadway.
She does.
There's going to be a duet with Christopher Jackson, another Hamilton star who we love. And then she's going to perform at Cafe Carlisle, a venue here in New York City, a very nice venue, from October 24th. To November 4th. And I'm guessing, I was going to say, that's a nice long run.
Nice little chunk.
And I'm sure she'll just be performing, not just, but I'm sure she'll be performing songs from that record.
I believe she is, yes. Yeah. As well as ones that she's done on Broadway. So, fantastic.
We have been blessed.
Yes, we have been blessed.
By Mandy Gonzalez.
All right, and now we have a few things on the site that you should find that camera, that you should definitely check out. The Band's Visit, which is coming to Broadway later, very soon, right? Hold on, I have it here. It begins previews on October 7th.
Okay.
It opens on November 9th. All of those people, they gathered together at the Rare Book Room at the Strand Bookstore down in Union Square, and they talked about the show. They performed in a reception afterward. We weren't able to film that, but I'm sure all of that footage will be coming to you very soon. So we have a photo gallery, so click through that and see. Katrina Lenk
is just
gorgeous.
Stunning.
Yes, and is going to be, she's already a star in our hearts.
Yes, she is.
But she's going to be a huge star post the band's visit. So check that all out.
Speaking of stars and witches, because Katrina like kind of is a witch to me. Like I think of her just as like
that was a
casting
beautiful
spells.
segue.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. Speaking of witches, Disney's Frozen opened last night in Denver, and our editor-in-chief and managing editor were there. Paul and Beth were there. We have video of that curtain call on the site. It opened at the Buell Theater, the Performing Arts' Buell Theater
in Denver.
Cassie Levy, Patty Murin, Jelani Aladdin, Greg Hildress, John Riddle, Andrew Carosi, all these great people, you guys. And they're all coming to the Buey. So that's all you really need to know. Previews begin on Broadway, February 22nd, 2018. At the St. James Open, March 22nd. March is going to be...
I'm sure these dates are actually just ingrained in people's heads at this point. Because, everyone knows when Frozen's coming, right?
March 22nd. That's 5 days before my birthday. So it'll be the Frozen cast party will be my birthday. Maybe I'll like combine it with my birthday party. You know what I mean? I'm into it.
Also, because it is Friday, obviously there is a new Culturalist challenge for all of you out there.
This is one of my favorites we've ever done. I'm just gonna say that.
We were really excited about this in the meeting. Not everyone was, but we're really excited about this. So obviously, SpongeBob SquarePants announced all of its casting. You can also stream its cast recording from Chicago right now, which we've all been doing.
Yes, and this is not the Broadway cast.
No. This is the previous.
Cast.
This is the Chicago cast.
I
know. Who knows? But in the meantime, you can decide what other Nickelodeon cartoons you want to be transformed into Broadway musicals. Ren and Stimpy, Doug, Rugrats,
Rocko's Modern Life, Hey Arnold.
Yes,
come on!
Amazing choices. So go on, go vote. Don't vote wrong. Choose the right things, and we'll reveal the results to you on Monday, of course, like we always do.
And as with every Friday, there is a new episode of the Broadway.com show that features... It's not up yet?
It's not up yet.
But it's going up.
It's moments away.
It's about to... Caitlin is checking, our producer is checking to see if it's gone up yet.
It's so close.
But I will give you a hint. If it hasn't gone up, here are the things that we're going to be featuring on the Broadway.com show this week. We're talking about the Love Never Dies tour, which is launching...
very soon.
This week, I think.
Super soon.
The School of Rock tour, which is also launching very soon. You were there for rehearsal.
I did. We got to rehearsal. We talked to the kids' stars. These kids make you feel like you wasted your childhood because they're prodigies.
Off Broadway's A Clockwork Orange and Very Sexy Men, and a one-on-one with
Nick Cartel from Les Mis. It was actually the Broadway.com show brought to you by Ryan Lee Gilbert.
I was going to say, this is a tour episode, and it's kind of fitting because today is also like a very special tour episode of Live at 5.
This is why you have the job you do. You find a way to tie it back in every time. Yes, well done. And
that's what I'm here for.
So, and also some Sugar Butter Betsy.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, obviously.
It's a little late. You'll understand why when you watch the episode, but make sure you watch Sugar Butter Betsy.
Sugar Butter Betsy is also the name of my favorite drinking game. It is.
I believe it.
Yeah, it is.
When we come back, we'll be joined by Corey Greenan from Jersey Boys. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
Wipe away the mask of makeup, just to talk, not to spur, man to man, queen to queen on a par, standing face to
Times calls the Book of Mormon the best musical of this century. This was my 4th time seeing it, and they still had me at hello. Winner of 9 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. The Book of Mormon on Broadway.
Back, everyone, and we are joined by Corey Greenan from the Jersey Boys Tour.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, it is our pleasure. We are huge Jersey Boys fans here, as there are people all across the country. I was reading today, doing a little bit of homework, this has been on tour since 2006. I believe this show has been touring.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be part of the Jersey Boys touring family?
Well, you know, I think I've probably been auditioning for this tour for just that long as well. So it's wonderful to be a part of it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think some of the best parts of that are that you get a lot of some of the original creatives too that are involved still to this day, teaching this to all the new people that come in.
Right.
You know, so there really is an attachment to telling the story the way that it has been told for that many years.
Yeah,
you know? And that's I think why it probably resonates and stays so fresh as well. You know?
Right. I mean, we're at a point like Jersey Boys just recently closed on Broadway,
Yeah.
but like wasted no time. We'll be reopen off Broadway at the
Coming right back,
New
yeah.
World Stages in November. You play Tommy DeVito in the show. You're a little bit of the bad boy in the show. You
know.
cause some trouble
It's
in this.
awesome.
Did you when you found out you'd be doing this? Did you reach out to anyone that played the role previously for any advice, or did you just kind of start your Tommy from scratch?
Well, I was also a member of the last leg of this tour, which began last August, and I was in the ensemble and I covered Tommy as well as Jip DiCarlo. So you know, I got to watch what Matthew Daly, who was the previous one, do, but he's a very different type than me. You know, he's a little bit more of a bruiser type, and I realized, okay, well, I can use some of the wonderful things that he was doing, and then also, find a way to create on my own. And I was able to do a little bit of that while covering. You try and do as much as you can, but you're also, you're filling a role. You're trying to, fill in for that person what they do, while bringing yourself to it. I got to go on one time. I mean, he's a rock. He never called out.
No, that's
but I got to go on
dedicated.
once, and that was, little deer in the headlights, like it always is the first time. But then to come into this rehearsal process and be able to already be familiar with the material and the general choreography and the general blocking, because some stuff has changed around a little.
Right.
But it was really wonderful to have this time to really find my own legs in this part, and it's one of the most fun parts that I've ever done in my life.
I can imagine. And Jersey Boys is just one of those shows that, I mean, it hit every mark the right way. Like, obviously it swept, awards.
Yeah.
The tours started launching all over the place. It's an international production at this point. Yeah. Clint Eastwood goes ahead and makes the movie.
Right.
Like, how does it feel to be part of a show that, not only has a built-in audience, but it just is a show that people across the country look forward to having come to their city all of the time?
It's unreal. I've had a little bit of that experience with Mamma Mia in the past, because I was in and out of that show for a long time, and that was a wonderful family, and it had this audience that just wanted to be there from, that's why they wanted to be there. They weren't like, let's see if I like this. It was like, we like this.
Yeah.
And now, and then so touring with this last leg, it's amazing, because you're right, it does have a built-in audience, but they come in with so much energy and so much excitement.
I've been in some of those audiences, and people, like, no matter how long it's been out there, people get up out of their seats every time.
It's so much fun, and they're following the story, and that's one of the neat parts about this too, is that the story has so much meat to it, and I think they respond to the honesty, that is on the stage as well, as well as the amazing music. And now we're going to be hitting some markets that have never had it before.
Right.
And I think we're doing 79 cities.
I was going to say, if you go on and look right now, it's already like booked all the way through 2018.
It's so exciting,
it's not going
and it's
anywhere.
these markets that haven't had it yet and have just been chomping at the bit to get it. So I think everyone in this company right now is really excited to get out there and bring it to them, because it's a surreal experience.
It is. It's a fantastic show. Is there a moment that, I mean, I'm sure, like, your moments, you love them very much, but is there a moment in the show that you especially love, that you like to watch from the wings, or like to...
I think one of the most moving moments is, there's a couple, I think, when there's a certain part in Walk Like a Man where, three of us, Frankie's down there doing his thing, three of us go upstage and then turn around to come down for this final chorus of Walk Like a Man.
Exactly what you're,
and there's just, I mean, you're pulled up and you're stepping down the stage like that, and it's an out of body experience, because you really feel like, well, you got this whole future ahead of you as this group,
Yeah.
And again, at the very end, Ragdoll, just that beginning, just walking down that stage, there's something, being a part of a group like that, let alone being a part of an ensemble like that. But just these four guys walking down in unison and making this wonderful music, after having told such such a an expressive story on top of that.
Absolutely.
You know.
You've done some Broadway. You've done a couple of tours, right? This is your third tour.
This is my third tour.
Is there? Do you find yourself? Do you enjoy the touring life? Or do you feel like you have to psych yourself up for it when you're about to embark?
You know, it's funny because the first time I toured was in 2005 something. You know, so it was a while ago. And then I joined I went out on the If Then tour a couple years ago.
Right.
And that was it had been a good decade in there. You know, and I do love it. I absolutely love it because not only do you get to go to places that you'd probably never find yourself on your own, you know, like going out of your way to visit, but you do get to take these shows to these towns, and you find some real gems, you know, and you see a lot of the country that
it's just a crazy, like I was gonna say, it's a crazy excuse to just see so much of your country.
Absolutely,
and to meet so many fascinating people, and there are so many audiences across the country that never get to see Broadway caliber stuff.
Absolutely,
because either they can't afford it, or make the trip, or don't have the time, and then to be able to, you see those people watch these shows, and you're like, it must feel like this is why you do this.
It's absolutely that, and yes, it can be trying and tiring at times, absolutely, and everything with. You're in constant motion, but it's really a joy. It's really a privilege to do, you know.
That's
and of
awesome
course,
to hear.
it's wonderful working here too. But it is an adventure, you know.
Yeah,
it's like every week is a new thing, you know.
And you're correct me if I'm wrong. You're from Northern California, and you went to, is it Pepperdine or Pepperdine?
Pepperdine. It's not quite that fancy. Yeah. Pepperdine.
So was performing always kind of going to be the thing that you did, or
no? You know, I did choir ever since 4th grade. You know, so I was always singing in choir, but I never had any sort of theatrical experience until my senior year of high school, and they were doing Once on This Island, and I played
Once on This Island.
Yeah.
Our editor-in-chief Paul Wontorek is a huge Once on This Island fan.
It's and I gotta say, the area that I'm from is pretty, what's the best word for it? I don't know, white, I guess. So I guess is that can I say that? Yeah. And so I was playing, Daniel Blazome, and it was my first experience, and I just was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna major in this. So then I went to college and majored in it. And Pepperdine was a liberal arts college, so it wasn't a conservatory, but like I said, I just started, so I had so much to learn about all of it, and I learned a lot there as well, and got some wonderful opportunities.
And it's stuck, like
it's stuck, I've been lucky enough to not be qualified to do anything else at this point. So
that's exactly how I feel. I get it.
That's the dream.
We'll take a couple questions from
absolutely.
fans out there. So Jake. We were talking about, since this tour has been touring for a very long time, how is this leg of the tour, this version of the tour, different from previous?
Yeah, in a couple different ways. First, it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit tighter, because we are visiting so many locations and with such a quick turnaround that just the logistics had to be smaller,
Absolutely.
So that's been kind of an adventure, and been fascinating to see them work around those details and work with them to tell the same exact story, and we're also, I've never done a tour that has been 1 or 2 nighters before, and we have a lot of those. We got some weeks where we're in 5 different cities, and so that's going to be a very new adventure for me personally. I think.
I think there's also at a certain point, like a tour becomes such a well-oiled machine that you're kind of there's no worry about like, oh, I hope we give this audience a good version of this tour. It just kind of like it's so efficient.
Absolutely.
At a certain point.
And like I said, a lot of the original creatives too are still involved, and they're still making sure that this story is being told the way that it has been told so wonderfully over the years.
Absolutely. This is a great question from Aaron, who's very excited to see the performance of the show in Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Right on.
Is there anything particularly fun about playing smaller markets like Whitewater, as opposed to the major cities?
Well,
great question.
It's a wonderful question, and I think my answer is that I have yet to really, I'm looking forward to learning what that is. And already, as you're looking, like you mentioned, how the tickets are selling. I mean, the response to it is already overwhelmingly, just supportive and positive. So people want to come out and see this show. And I think the rest of the cast, I'm going to hop on a train here after this and go up to West Point where we start teching. You know?
Right.
So we're gonna get it. We're gonna really turn it into that well-oiled machine. And I think the rest of us, the whole cast, is really excited to get out there and just bring it to all of these different markets again that haven't had them, you know. So
right. What's your favorite thing too? You know Nick Cartel. We talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
He was telling us, which you'll all find out soon in that one-on-one on the Broadway.com show, that one of his favorite things to do on this tour is he's going to buy a vinyl record at every city he goes to, and to take home to his home collection. Is there something that you like to do in every stop you make? Is there a day that you take to explore a little bit? Or
I do. I don't know if you've ever heard of this thing called geocaching.
No.
It's like a sort of a global scavenger treasure hunt thing, and it's got people hide little objects in public places, you know, and then it's a whole app thing. You follow the clues to the thing, and then
sounds amazing.
you find it and you sign it. So I like to, in every city that we go to, I like to try and find at least one of them and go, you know, Jersey Boys was here, or you know, if then was here, like you just and it gets you out. Just the act of finding the little trinket or whatever gets you out in the city, exploring places, and you usually get a little history out of it too. So that's kind of what I do, because I try not to collect too much stuff while I'm out there, because space is limited.
It's your limited amount of space that you can take home.
Yeah.
So if you've heard that, make sure you leave things out for these Jersey Boys to
Yeah,
find.
I'm saying we're coming, and I'll be looking for it.
Right. Do you know any of the original cast members, and had you seen the show before becoming a part of it?
I do not know any of the original Broadway cast members. I've crossed paths with them, you know, obviously in this tiny little world that we live in. And I have seen it. Yeah, I've seen it many times over the years. Especially, and like I said, I would go in sometimes for these auditions and have 70 pages of sides, you know, and I'm doing every character, and I'm doing guitar, and I'm doing a magic trick, and I'm doing,
Absolutely.
But I have seen it, both in Vegas and I don't know if I actually ever saw it in New York, but I saw it in Vegas. I've seen the tour a few times.
I was going to say the Vegas production was just as. That's how my entire family saw it in Vegas. That's how.
Yeah, and that was wonderful out there. So no, I don't know any of the original guys personally, but but I had seen it, and so I knew, that's why I kept coming in. I knew I wanted to be a part of it.
Right.
For sure.
You've been super busy, but have you been able to partake in any of the recent Broadway season? Seen anything that you've really liked? Anything that you?
Admittedly, I haven't really. We get out of our 10 to 6.
I was going to say, you all have the same schedules.
I could have taken a little bit more advantage of it. I'm sure, but.
Right.
I was just kind of focusing on getting that part down and going home and going over the details.
There's a lot
of
homework.
There's a lot of homework.
But since the show is going to a lot of smaller markets and cities that they haven't hit before, for audiences that might not be familiar with what to expect with Jersey Boys, what kind of a night are audiences across the country in for when they come to see you guys?
Well, I think they absolutely know that they're going to see some great music. They're going to hear some great music, classics that if they don't know it from when they first came out, they know it through either movies or TVs, commercials. As Tommy says, they're everywhere. So they'll expect that. But what it's also neat, it's a raw portrait of these guys and where they came from, which wasn't. They're from the street. They didn't have a lot of options, and they turned it into this just unbelievable worldwide movement. I think they can expect that, and there's a lot of honesty in the story that's told. It's not just the good parts. So they're going to get an
warts and all.
Yeah, warts and all. Absolutely, and it's told very honestly and straightforward.
And I can say from experience, the songs will be stuck in your head for weeks.
That's the goal.
Corey, thank you so much
for
joining
very
us.
much.
It's such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
We love the tour. We love the show, guys. Find out when Jersey Boys is coming to your city. Make sure you get tickets. Check it out. Check out this guy. And have a great weekend. And we'll see you all on Monday for the next Live at 5. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good one.